So I'm just going to cut the BS and get into it with this one because, well, it's important, but I mean, you might not think so, but it is. So if you're a long-time viewer slash subscriber, you'll know that the reason this channel exists in the first place is because of sim racing, a niche little hobby that has become more popular thanks to a man who lives in a shed and the small matter of a global pandemic. And just like with gaming, beauty, guitars, or motorsport, each section of YouTube content creators has its standout personalities, whether that's KSI, Danish Pete, Jackmate, whoever it may be. And then in sim racing, the king of kings is obviously Jimmy, but on the other side of the pond lives a man called SimRacing604, Mike. So Mike's channel is sort of a sim racing news channel, I guess that's probably the best way to look at it. He does first looks at new cars, tracks, updates for Assetto Corsa, Race Room, Alpha 2 iRacing, and is now hosting like community races and leagues and stuff. So, I mean, he's even grown to a point now where he's doing stuff for race department. But unfortunately, Mike has inadvertently landed himself in hot water. Well, I mean, he's Canadian, so he's landed in a pot of freshly made Tim Hortons coffee, which is the hottest substance known to man. And the thing is, none of this is his fault. What has happened is Mike got DMCA'd by a modding group called SimDream Modding, or Assetto Corsa Modding, or whatever they've renamed themselves to this week. Mike did a video the other day where he basically warned sim racers about this modding group. A modding group that rips models from other sims, steals mods from other mod authors, and then they just copy stock AC physics onto them and sell them for like $7.99 or whatever, which, you know, it violates every copyright law under the sun. So what did SimDream do? Well, they hit Mike's channel with fraudulent DMCA takedown claims to cover their own asses. And all they've ended up doing is confirm what everybody's been saying. They're dodgy. So what is the DMCA? It's the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which is a piece of United States law that was signed by President Bill Clinton in the October of 1998. So about 2 years or so before the whole Metallica Napster thing. What this law does is it allows people to get stuff taken down if it violates someone else's intellectual property. So let's just take an example off the top of my head. Let's say your video on YouTube gets a couple of hundred hits, and it's a video of your dog farting himself awake like a very good boy. Then imagine that that video is downloaded by someone, re-uploaded, and goes totally viral, getting millions of hits and making that guy quite a bit of ad revenue. You'd be quite rightly annoyed. So under the DMCA, you have the right under that act to say, hey, that's my video, please take it down. And this also works for like stuff written on blogs, it works for music, it works for audio recording and photographs, as I know all too well. But what's happened in the last 22 years is that this piece of paper has become possibly the most abused document in history, and people are using the DMCA to basically get stuff taken down that they don't like. And the best piece of precedent for this is when Bitwit reacted to The Verge's infamous PC build video as his alter ego Lyle. What happened there is The Verge's parent company hit Bitwit's channel with a DMCA takedown claiming it was libelous, but YouTube went, well no, reaction videos, parodies, commentary fit entirely under fair use. So sit the fuck down. It also didn't help that The Verge's video was totally not how to build a PC. And how that thing turned on at all when he was done is still a mystery. It's a meme in tech circles, and all the people that reacted did basically what Mike did with SimDream, saying, don't trust this. He was just doing his bit for the sim racing community. Don't get pulled in by this. They're dodgy. The same way that, you know, Linus Tech Tips and those guys said, don't watch The Verge's video. That is totally not how to build a computer. So SimDream, in a burst of weapons-grade dickbaggery, did to Mike what Vox Media, you know, The Verge's parent company, did to Bitwit. Mike didn't break any copyright laws by saying, yeah, this modding group, it's a scam, don't buy anything. They basically went full Donald Trump kicking Caitlin Collins out of the White House because she asked the wrong questions. You're fake news. Okay, that's a bit extreme, but I hope you can see my point. I mean, I just wanted to break out the impression again. So the TLDW of all this is SimDream steals mods, creates low-quality rip versions, and sells without permissions. They then use the YouTube copyright system to issue false claims against those mod creators, and in this case, sim racing content creators. So you might be wondering, Well, why do you care about Mike? Here's why. Under my desk are my Thrustmaster pedals that got a lot of use when the channel was more sim racing orientated before it became Storytime Pressing Issues channel. And they served me very, very well. I won my first races with them. But I didn't buy them. Mike did. They are Mike's old pedals that he sent to me when my pedals at the time gave up the ghost. And at that time, I didn't really have the money to spend on a brand new set of pedals. I pointed out earlier, Mike lives in Canada. He lives in Vancouver, Canada, the western side of Canada, which is 5,000 miles or so away from me in the English West Midlands. It cost Mike, out of his own pocket, something like $100 to send them across the Atlantic, and he only asked for a small contribution. It worked out to £1 in my money, so not a lot. And these aren't even stock pedals. They've got the Ricmotech load cell added to them, which is like another $100 worth of upgrades added to an already decent set of pedals, I guess. He could have made me pay for the pedals and the shipping, or just the shipping, but he didn't. And without Mike helping like he did, I wouldn't have been able to keep building my channel, and about 3 months after I got the pedals, the channel blew up. That is how much of a stand-up guy Mike is. Well, I mean, he is quite the stand-up guy. He's like 8'9" or something ridiculous like that. But he had my back then, and I've got his back in return. So what I want people to do is find my tweet on the whole thing that I put up the other day and retweet the shit out of it. Share RandomCallsign's video. Share Chris Haye's video on this. Share this one if you want to. Tag iRacing, Raceroom, Kunos in your tweets. And I actually spoke to the business development manager at R Factor 2 the other day, and he said, yep, they're aware and they're going to have a look. So that's one developer already looking into it. We just need the rest. Let's get them. Let's get these people out of sim racing. We don't need it, and it just brings everything down, and quite a lot of people are standing with Mike, as it were, with, you know, the hashtags and that kind of thing. But yeah, so that's my piece. In the words of $80, bye.